Hello, hello. Hope you're doing okay today. We're going to get started here in just a moment. I'll give you the short brief of it, and that is that I'm trying to raise funds for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We have until next Friday here, which is when I'm going to give away a bunch of things. In fact, right now I currently have more things to give away than I have people. So that means if you give at least $5, at this point you're guaranteed to win something, unless I just have a huge influx of people this week, which would be great, because that's what we're trying to do, is raise funds for St. Jude. But I hope you're doing okay today. I'm still working on this website redesign. I haven't had a whole lot of time to work on it since last week, so it just kind of depends week by week. But I'll pick up where I left off last week. Actually, I think I did a little bit with the navigation and stuff, but mostly I'll pick up where I did last week. And so if you follow along there, cool. If not, no worries. We'll pick up today. So I hope you're doing okay today. I'm going to go ahead and switch over here in just a second. Just trying to keep track of all my different windows I've got going on first. But I would love to have you give towards this really great cause. And like I said, $5 right now essentially guarantees you some kind of prize. I'm not sure what I'm going to do if I have too many prizes and not enough people who've given and sent me their receipt. But don't make me have to figure that out. If you don't mind, that would be great. Let's see. Figma's trying to install. Okay, I think we're set and ready to go. Let me switch over. Hey there, good to see you. Let's go ahead and get started here. Like I said, I'm trying to raise funds for St. Jude Children's Cancer Research Hospital. And you can go to my website, codinginpublic.dev/fundraiser, and you can see a link in the description. Basically, what we're trying to do is help contribute to their mission. St. Jude not only cares for kids who have childhood cancer and other life-threatening diseases, but they do so without cost at all to the family. They fly people in, not only from the US, but around the world, and provide free housing, free lodging, free food, free transportation, free medical care. All of it is free to the patient because of people like you and me. And I think one of the cool things about this fundraiser is that it's a lot of individuals giving instead of like some huge corporate thing. We're not doing it for any kind of like corporate reasons or to like pad the books in some way or make ourselves look generous. It's just individuals giving $5, $10 a year, and that's what makes it really cool. And this is my third year now to give towards this and to set up this fundraiser. So we've had several people join us this year. In fact, originally I was hoping to raise just $1,500 because we raised $1,200 last year. We did so well that I got really ambitious and I set it to $3,000 as the secondary goal. So I'd love to hit that. We've got the rest of the week to go, $600-ish. We could totally do that. We could do that right now. But I'd love to have you join me if you want to there. So anyhow, this is what we're raising funds for. Even if you don't live in the US and you think, well, why would I want to raise funds for St. Jude? It's in Memphis, Tennessee. I don't live there. Well, a couple things. Number one, they do provide care for kids from around the world. Obviously, a lot of those are US based, but the other thing is that they're a research hospital, which means all the research they do can benefit children all over the globe with cancer. In fact, one of the things that St. Jude does that's not unique to them, but very special in this field of research is that they share their findings openly. A lot of times, kind of the proprietary research findings obviously help that hospital gain more traction and make more funds and that kind of stuff. St. Jude is not like that. Instead, what they do is they open source all their learnings and spread that to cancer research centers all over the globe, because their goal is to eradicate childhood cancer. It's not to raise funds, it's not to like earn money and pad their numbers. And so if you're giving to St. Jude, you're giving to eradicate childhood cancer around the globe. In fact, they have something called St. Jude Global, and St. Jude Global is all about trying to help children all over the world with cancer. 80% of children worldwide don't survive childhood cancer, and a lot of that is because they don't have access to proper care. A lot of the cancers that children do get are very treatable, but they live in an area where they don't have access to that care. So St. Jude has really taken on a new mission in the last couple of years to do a better job of getting actual resources to children all over the globe who are struggling with cancer. So why would you want to give? Well, this is a noble cause, and it's cool to join so many other people who have already given. The other thing, though, is you do have a chance to win some of these. And like I said, I think I have about 15 people who've sent me their receipts, and I have 38, something like that, actual things to give away. So at this point, basically, unless I have more than 20 people or something like that send me a receipt and have given at least $5 by Friday, then you're guaranteed to win one of these things. And if you don't want one of them, when I respond to you, I'll give you the chance to opt out if you're like, hey, I already have this or that. But you can see I've got almost $5,000 worth of prizes, basically because these companies have given me things to give away, which is awesome to see them partner with me that way. Every $5 earns you 1 raffle ticket, and on Friday I will be giving these away in a live stream, and so I hope to have you join me there, even if you didn't have the chance to be able to give. So $5 gives you a chance at this point to certainly win one of these things. We've got some CMS things like CloudCannon here has given me 2 standard plans for a year. They're $540 normally for that. Console Ninja, which I use all the time, and I don't know how I'd code without it. $60. I've got 4 of these available. Console Ninja essentially gives you like console logs directly in VS Code or whatever editor you're using, so you don't have to go open it up in your either in your terminal for a server-side log or in your like browser for client side. Dracula is a very popular theme. It's been around forever. They've got different color schemes. They've got fonts, all this stuff available. I've got 10 of those, which is awesome. GitTower, which is a Git GUI client, especially if you struggle with Git. $100, it gets you a pro license for GitTower, and it's really interesting. I'll let you check all this stuff out yourself. My Learn Astro course, I've got 4 free licenses available for that. Quokka.js is a JavaScript TypeScript like instant feedback thing in your editor, so you can actually just start like manipulating stuff, sending numbers to a function, for instance, and it will give you back the readout directly. You don't even have to console log, so it gives you it directly in your code editor. Wallaby.js is the same for tests, so instead of having to run tests, you just start writing them, and it tells you if they pass while you're writing them, so it speeds up the development there a lot. And then Warp is a terminal, and they've given me 4 one-year pro plans, which essentially gives you more access to AI tokens. There's more that comes along with that, but I have found agent mode actually like genuinely useful. It's one of the few areas where I actually use AI pretty regularly, and you could just ask it questions and it interacts with you and actually runs commands on your behalf with your confirmation, which is really nice. So it's not just like a chat bot. It actually is like an assistant. It actually does something for you. It will run stuff, say, hey, I need to check your Git history to first do that. Can I hit this command? Sure, yes. So I'm just hitting enter on a lot of these stuff, and super, super helpful. So if you're interested in any of these things or interested in helping join the cause to help cure childhood cancer, now is the time to give some away. All right, well, I've given that impassioned speech. Nobody has given anything yet, but there's still time. All right, could be right now. Let me go ahead and really briefly share this stream on Twitter, and then I'll go ahead and jump in. But I'd love to know if you have questions or thoughts you have, or yeah, if you want to chat about anything, let me know. Right now, I'm gonna tweet this though. What is happening? Let's see if this will let me. There we go. Interesting music we got going on right now. All right. Okay, well, let's go ahead and jump in. I hope you're doing okay this morning. I'm going to jump back over here. Here's what we've been working on so far. Let's see, last week, if you have been following along, which I'm not guessing everyone has been, but we created this little button component. It basically took us the whole time. I added some more stuff to it, and I also added this like mobile nav as well. So I added all that since last week. Let's see, right over here. Yeah, right here. So I did add a bunch of stuff last week after we created this button component, but essentially what this gives us is access to a bunch of different customizations for our button. So you can see right inside here, I just called this link, and then I've got a bunch of different intents. So like outline or inline, ghost, icon, all this kind of stuff, outline. So these are different options for the button. I can decide whether or not it's underlined. So in this case, I'm deciding that based on which page I'm on. So if I come over here, for instance, to the projects, and I look at this again, you'll see that this is now underlined. I probably also need to add an ARIA current to that as well. So maybe we can do that. Let's see, have I done that yet? I don't think I have. Okay, cool. So I will make a little to-do for us here in the future. I think I'm going to move ahead to other stuff, but for right now, let me just go ahead and do that so don't forget about it. To-do, add aria current equals page. All right, so that's cool. All right, as far as the actual design, here's what we're working with right now. So let's go ahead and start in on this next section. You can see I've changed this around a little bit since our design. So I don't know how much further we're going to get today, but we'll see. Let's jump back over this way and come into my index. If I can find it, index pages right here. Let's see. Okay, so this is what I currently have on my site. Obviously, a lot of this needs to be changed. So maybe let's do this. Let's just get rid of everything. At least I'll comment it out. It's not going to let me do that with it collapsed. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. And here. Okay, cool. So nothing in there. Let me open the layouts section and see what I have here. So I have a slot here. Let me go ahead and just wrap this in like a main tag. I think that should work. And then we've got the footer, if I want to show that, which is simply, let's see, footer, show footer. We'll set this to true while just putting it in there sets it to true. And that shows that fundraiser footer. So that's what that is. That's right. I forgot about that. All right. And the nav shows by default. So we should be set to go. All right. As far as this section then, I've got this hero. I don't really have a lot of pages on this site that are just projects. So I think what I'm going to do is just create a little component. Let's come over here. If I can. SRC, assets, components. So all these public images or public folders here, these projects are just the compiled versions of all these projects. But by putting it in public, Astro won't touch them. It won't manipulate them at all or try to compress them. So it's just going to serve them as static assets. Let's see. Components, UI. What else do I have in here? All right, so let's do this. I'm going to create a little more organization here. So we'll have like home. And here I'm going to have hero.astro. That should work. Yeah, that'll work. I do have some of this stuff already. So maybe I can steal some of this here. Small hay. Interesting. It's been a while since I've looked at any of this stuff. Okay, so this should definitely be like a Astro image here. Avatar circle. Okay. Where's my design? Okay, here we go. All right, I'll need some kind of description. I don't know what it'll be. I think I have. Sure that'll work. So let's go ahead and we're going to have our image here. And then we'll have like our content, which has two sections. So we'll have like title or whatever, description. All right, that'll be good enough. All right, so let's go ahead and add our image in here. And I'm gonna, we'll say CIP head or something like that equals, or well, I'm importing this from. I'll do assets, CIP head, small, I guess. We'll see what this one is. And then let's come down here. I have an image from Astro assets. That will work. If it will import, there we go. SRC will be my CIP head. And then set an alt for now of nothing. And let's get this thing in here. So right over here, we'll have hero. That will work. All right. Maybe let's try the small one. Let's go small. More reasonable. Although I guess on bigger screen sizes, I probably am going to want it a little bit bigger. So let's leave it at that for now. Now we basically have two options here as far as the spacing between different sections. We can use like the margin, or we can use grid and kind of set the gap between them all. That's my preference. I usually do that. So let me come back over here. This main slot right here, because this is essentially like a global thing anyhow, I think what I'm going to do is come over here to my styles and what am I doing? Main. Nope. Main. There we go. Do I have anything on my main tag so far? No. How about body? Okay, sure. So let's come in here on my main tag, and I'm just going to set this to display grid, and I'm going to set a gap and a margin top and bottom that are the same. So we'll say like gap, and I've got some utility sizes in my root, I think. Do I have some of these? No, I do not. Okay. I am using open props here to give me a lot of variables, so I don't have to like come up with a whole scheme system myself. So maybe I'll just use one of those. So we'll say space, size, fluid, I think is how that works for, something like that. Let's try that. And then we'll say margin block. So that's up and down. Maybe a little bit more than that. 6, 5. Perfect. All right, and then as I get smaller, it will get smaller along with me. So let's come over here. Shockingly white. Is there a way to make this darker? No. All right. There we go. All right, so that'll work. I think I'll need to adjust the person's head, but other than that, I think we're good. All right, so let's come back over here. We've got our image in here. It's picking up the width and height automatically from the file. So I don't know if there's a whole lot I need to do here. I could say like coding in public avatar or something like that. Now the image itself does need to be kind of wrapped because I've got that background circle as well, and you can't have like an after pseudo element or anything like that with an image, since it's like a self-closing tag or whatever those things are called. So let me grab this and see. I'm not sure exactly what this does, but let's throw all this here. I'll just get rid of that later and see what this does. So let me come in here. We're gonna grab this, move this up here, get rid of all of this. Hey, welcome. And see if that does anything. Let's save it. Does nothing. Okay, cool. Let's figure out where this avatar circle is being used. Let's see. It is being used in all kinds of places, but it looks like I killed the CSS for it, which is, that makes sense. All right, so let me come, oh wait, something's happening right here. Pre-footer has this. I don't know what this is. This will work though, so let's steal this. Avatar image. I'm not sure what music this is. Let's skip. Avatar fit. Margin bottom. Fit content. Okay. So avatar image. All right, let me steal all this then. So let's create a little component just called avatar, because we'll use this in a couple different places. So this is going to be just general like UI, I guess. So we'll call this avatar.astro. And I guess we'll start in here, add a style tag. That'll work. Let's go to my Fundraiser home. Or this is my pre-footer. All right, so let's steal this. Avatar circle. We'll drop all this in here, right here, I think. I'll pull this in. CIP head, we'll grab that as well from the pre-footer. I think that'll work. All right, and then what I'm gonna do is use that in my hero here. Yeah, I think that'll work. So let's go ahead and just drag this. We'll have this component inside here, avatar. There we go. Way smaller than I was hoping for, but I guess I have a width and height here. So a couple things we can do. We can have this to where it's like a variable we can pass in. I can just be happy with that size. That's another option. Why is that not? Oh, here we go. But yeah, I could pick up the size slightly here. Maybe. This should probably be size fluid. What does this give me? If I go M. No, those are pixels then. Okay, so I guess we'll just expand it like that. Something like that. Okay. I kind of feel like I should just use an M here. So let's do like 1M or something. Okay, too big. 0.5M. And that way, as I change this, it can adjust just based off the parent. I think that should work. That'll work. Okay, cool. Prefers reduced motion. If it has no preference, then it turns. Okay, so I do account for that. That's good. I think that works. Interesting to where it rotates 6. Astro 5 is around the corner. Any ideas what's going to change? Yeah. Honestly, like break, I doubt it. Astro just doesn't break stuff. I just updated an Astro site from like 2.0 to 4.15 or something like that, and I had 0 breaking changes. I mean, it's not like the biggest site I've ever done, but it probably had 25 pages, and like I used a lot of Astro stuff. There's lots of stuff I didn't use in the site that I would now, but yeah, that's crazy. 5.0 basically is the content layer, which means that you can take not just content collections and get all the type safety that you get with content collections, which are local markdown files currently, but you're going to be able to use external things, external content items. So whether that's like Strappy or Cloudcannon stuff or whatever, you can basically pass that stuff in as a content collection as well and get all the type safety, but your data can come from anywhere. So content collections are great because they give you all the type safety. The bad thing is, or the thing that people are like, hey, I wish it had this, is you have to have local markdown files or MDX files or things like that. So the content layer basically opens up content collections to data from anywhere, which is really cool. So that's essentially what Astro 5 is. There's more to it than that. So it basically takes what you currently have in Astro's content collections, which are already Astro superpowers, in my opinion, and it basically makes it to where any data anywhere can be used. So you can write little adapters that are basically, yeah, I'm going to get into it. I think Tuesday I plan to do a video if I can find the time this weekend, but it's pretty cool. So you can basically use these adapters to make it easier on yourself, or you can just pass in data yourself and like your own schemas and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. I think Strappy has like a beta version of one going forward right now. Cloudcannon. There's several others as well. In fact, let's just check it out. Let me refresh over here too, see if anyone else has given that yet. Love to have you join me in this. Let's see. Let's go to astro.build. I am trying to raise funds for childhood cancer today. Let's see, community loaders. Yeah, so here are the new ones currently. Notion, Stripe, Feedloader, Airtable, Strappy. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know Notion had done it. But basically what you're doing here, not to get all distracted with Astro, is you have a loader now where you can get data from it. And then in this particular loader is Astro's, or is Notion's like plugin thing. I don't know if they're calling them plugins. Community loaders is what they're calling them. So these community loaders take in the data, and then you can basically use this as a content collection and get all the type safety and stuff that you'd expect. You don't have to add types, but you can. Here, you can just take a feed from FeedLoader and pass it in directly as like podcasts or releases or whatever, and that way you now get access to that as a content collection. Stripe, same kind of thing. Airtable, so lots of cool stuff. Strappy here as well, like I said, as a CMS. Cloudcannon as well has one. I plan to do something on that as well. So anyhow, there's just lots of really cool things that this now enables. It opens up Astro's content collections to all these different platforms as well. And you don't obviously have to have like a community loader that's custom written for you. You can just pass in other stuff as well. So let's see, Cloudcannon, Storyblock. Block is another one. It looks like. Here we go. That's what I was looking for. So with the content later, now you can basically use your local markdown files. That's what this is. That's what it used to only ever be able to do. Pass this to the loader. This gives you your data. You can use that now. You can use CMSs, APIs, anything like that. So here's an example of one where you don't have a community loader, but you're writing your own, which is an async function that hits an endpoint, returns JSON, and then gives you this data back. And then you can optionally define an actual schema so you get access to all that once you know that you're actually getting your data back successfully. The community loaders should provide a lot of this for you so that you don't have to write any of this. That's basically the point of them. So anyhow, it's super interesting. Now you can actually grab all this. In this case, they're grabbing it from this REST countries API. You're getting all this stuff back, but it looks just like a content collection. So you get this content collection, you map over all this stuff, and in this case, it looks like you're outputting a page for each of these, where each page has its own data, name, capital, all this kind of stuff. So really cool, especially if you're like, for instance, let's say you have a bunch of data in your database and you want to use that. Well, you can just create a little loader, or if they have a loader, you can use that like with Firebase, for instance. You could grab all that data, process it, and then you're actually using Astro's content collections when you're writing your stuff out, but your data happens to be coming in from Firebase. Let's say you change it and you move over to Strappy. No problem. You literally just swap out the loader in that case. If the data structure is the same, all the data comes in and you don't have to actually touch your UI layer at all. So I think that's probably a lot of the power here, is that you can be really flexible with where you're using to store your data. If you're moving back and forth, for instance, from like a markdown files to now you're putting that on some kind of CMS, you don't have to change around everything. Whereas before you would have had to basically trash content collections and rewrite your UI layer. So I think it gives you a lot more flexibility. That's at least my understanding of what's going on. But yeah, like I said, I hope to have time to record a video on that. But yeah, Pocket Base, yeah, that's cool. Yep, that's my understanding, Quabe, maybe. Quab, I don't know if the E is silent, but. All right, since we're over here, I am trying to raise funds for childhood cancer. And I'd love to have you join me. The St. Jude Children's Cancer Research Hospital provides free care to children with cancer. That's all the pitch I need to give. Really, if you give $5, right now you're guaranteed to win one of these prizes down this way. So just $5 gets you access to one of these. Right now I only have like 15 people have sent them in and something like 38 prizes. So if you give $5, send me your ticket by Friday, you are essentially at this point guaranteed to win one of these, or your odds are like 95%, even if I have a few more people give. So I'd love to have you join me in this. I've got CloudCannon, Console Ninja, Dracula, GitTower, my Astro course, Coca.js, Wallaby.js, Warp. All of these things are there to give away. And all you have to do is give at least $5 to this really noble cause. I'd love to have you join me. I'd love to hit this 3,000 mark by Friday. I'm going to try to do a push this week to really make sure that happens, but that's really kind of up to you all. And I know not everyone can give money, but that's why I've set it as low as just $5 to win one of these prizes. I think last year I had like 38 people give. This year I've only had like 15 or 16 who have actually sent me the receipt, and you do have to send it to me because I don't have a way of knowing who gives outside of that, nor of contacting you. But I'd love to have you join me. You can figure out more on my website at codinginpublic.dev, and then there's a little fundraiser banner you can click on that gets you right here. 290 children every week are diagnosed with cancer in the U.S., and 90% of kids with cancer worldwide don't have access to adequate treatment. So what you're doing by giving to a research hospital is not just helping kids at that research hospital, but providing care for kids all over the world. Only about 200,000 kids of the 400,000 that are diagnosed with cancer or who have cancer are properly diagnosed. So a lot of this comes down to just knowing that kids have cancer and how to treat it early enough to where they can recover. Right now, the childhood cancer rate is only 20% worldwide, so 80% of children do not survive. That's flipped in the U.S. in large part because of the work of St. Jude, and now they've turned that attention to their global partners. That's why they have developed this thing called St. Jude Global, which what it does is basically try to ensure that kids all over the globe, not just kids at St. Jude, have access to this care. So if you have $5 this morning, let me encourage you to give it towards St. Jude. We haven't raised any this morning. I know it's Saturday, which is not ideal for streaming. I just was away yesterday and wasn't able to stream. But I hope that you'll be able to give and help participate in this really noble cause. All right, with that said, let's jump back over here. We haven't done too much besides create this little component here. But now I've got this not only here, but also down in the fundraiser as well, which is cool. So let's get rid of this, come over here. We've got our avatar in here, so we're set here. Next section, we're gonna create a little component for our heading, I think. So let me come over here, and we're gonna have a couple different options. I've created stuff like this in my course before, but I really like these kinds of components. We created one for the button as well. let's go ahead and just create it as a, how do I want to do this? Let's do it as a link, just like we did this React one. I'm going to call this a heading or something like that. And that way I can use this in React components as I need them. All right, and essentially what we're going to have is a tag and a size. I think that's pretty much all I need. And I guess we can have some of these other items as well, like if it's outlined or that kind of section, that kind of thing. Well, I guess I would just pass in the text that way. So I don't think we'll even need that. So what we're going to do is have intents here, and I'm going to change this to say tag, and this is going to yell at us for a second. It's going to be just fine. Let's get rid of all of this here. I guess really what I want this to be is just, can I just do like, does this need to be an object? Let's see, can I make this an enum? Let's do h2. Let's see what this lets, no, okay. That's fine. So we'll just say h1, I guess it's gonna map to h1. We'll come down here a bunch. And let's come up here, grab all these, and then let's do text pastry 1 to 6. Same thing here, 1 to 6. These need to be like that. Okay, cool. So we're gonna have a tag, and we're also gonna have a size. Colors, I guess we could set that here. Yeah, let's do that. Secondary, tertiary, we'll have primary. $10. Hey, awesome, thank you so much. I'm guessing you mean over here. Awesome, thank you so much. It's cool to join together and to use the channel for something other than just like coding stuff, you know? All right, styles.primary, we'll do that. All right, colors, I think that's pretty much it, aside from sizes. So where's my size stuff? Here we go. All right, so for size, I'm gonna do the same thing I did here. This is how I typically like to do it. That way I kind of have 6 sizes in my head for the heading. You know, I guess you could also do small, medium, large if you wanted to. I mean, I guess how many sizes am I really gonna have? Maybe let's start here. We'll see. We'll say tag. By default, let's make this an H1, I guess. And size, we'll make this large. And then what we need to do is pull this in. We're going to have a heading. Let's do that. So we'll say heading.module.css. Awesome, Wallaby. Thank you so much. Just make sure to send me your receipt, because again, I have to have that in order to enter you into the drawing. Let's hit that $3,000 if we can. That would be awesome. Okay, so here we are in my heading module. That's good. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of everything but what we're working on, which is this heading right here. So in order to actually use this, let me get rid of a lot of these things. We're going to call this tag. Colors, we don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that. Size works. href, not needed. Show confetti, also not needed, I don't think. All right, what we're going to do is have this tag. How do I define a tag outside of this in React? I'm trying to remember. I don't think I can just do like tag. I don't think that's going to work. Tag does not exist. I think it has to be a capital tag like that. Which also means I think what I need to do is come inside here, and we're going to do const tag equals tag. And then I think I can return, if I can type, return this, maybe. Let's see, this has to be, is it because it's not defined or something? Let's change around some of this other stuff first. So we're going to say like heading variants for now, styles.base, that will work. Styles primary, it's all good. Here we're going to have, what is this? Heading HTML. heading. I don't know what this would be. HTML heading element. I think I could just extend this directly, right? Heading variants, we don't need this. All right, so I think that should work. Oh, I think it's because I have some extra stuff in here that's not working. Size, bounce direction, intent. I don't need that. Colors. Don't need that. Heading variants. All right, what don't you like about here? Class name is specified more than once. Okay. I don't see that. Let's try to use it and see what happens. Okay, so we've got our tag. Let's come over here to, it's gonna look nasty, but that's okay. Let's come over here to our head, hero. And what we're gonna do is have a little content layer, grid, medium, I think. I've got some helper classes. I'll have to check that out if that's the right way. Heading like this. All right, doesn't like me right now. Let's refresh, reload the window and see what happens. We're streaming, interesting, yeah. Chris or Christopher? Is your full name Christopher or just Chris? Dante with the personal questions this morning. My birth certificate says Christopher, for all the hundreds of people wondering that this morning. Thank you, Dante. Let's see, heading element. Why is this thing not pulling in? Let's see, is this thing not called that? Heading CSS, link props. Aha, heading. Amazing what happens when you rename these things. Link props. We're gonna call this heading props, just to keep stuff consistent. Let's come over here. Heading still doesn't want to import. We will do it the old-fashioned way. Say heading from UI. Come on, heading like that. Hey, Chris. Oh, Charlie. I read Chris somehow. I'm guessing this is not, could not import heading.module.css. Why not? Heading.modules. Well, that makes sense. Okay, we actually have a thing. Let's see if this lets us do anything. No. All right. Let's figure out what's going on. So we did have a problem here. Good to know. It doesn't like this. I'm doubting it's the class name. Oh, interesting. Why are the children not being propped in here? So this tag thing, I think, is what's not working. Let's see, dynamic tag React. I don't remember how to do this in React. That's how you do it in Astro, but okay, that's literally what I'm doing. Because I'm just passing it as a prop. Component mapping. I mean, that's basically the same thing. Tag. Tag name equals tag of one of those things that's being passed in. All right. That's what I'm doing there. I'm not sure why that's not working. All right, I guess let's read the actual error. All right, I'm streaming today to try to raise funds for childhood cancer with St. Jude. So hopefully you can join me. We've had one give today, which is great. I know Saturday is kind of a hard day to watch a stream. But if you haven't given yet, just $5 will, at this point, win you one of these prizes. I still have like 20 that are unclaimed. So at this point, if you've given, you're going to win something. And even if I have like 30 people send me their receipts by Friday, which is when the giveaway ends, you're going to have like a 90% chance of winning something. And you can even say, hey, I don't want this or I don't want that because I already have it. So in addition to helping cure childhood cancer, you also get the chance to win some pretty cool stuff thanks to some awesome donors. All right, let me come back over here. Built-in stream. Not sure exactly what's going on here. So why don't we console like this? So let's get rid of this. Let's console like this to see what we're actually getting over here. If it'll let us, it may not even run that. So let's just set this as an H1 right now. Ooh, it's not happy no matter what. Well, that's good to know. So we do have a problem. I mean, the tag thing is a situation as well, but all right, let's, for some reason Console Ninja is not working, and I'm not sure why. All right, let's think through this. We've got heading, we've got our props here. Why would this not be working? I guess if I get rid of that, that works now suddenly. That's kind of random. A 9 hidden. What is being hidden? Huh, I don't know why this thing is not console logging. So this tag should be one of those. Why am I getting this as... Huh. Oh, it's because it thinks it's just a string. Interesting. Okay, well, let's just define this outside of this whole scope. I think that'll work. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to say const tag equals and pass in those options. I think that'll work. So let's come inside here and grab all these. And let's see, can I do this? Maybe. Ah. So tag equals all that. Oh, it's okay. We'll be fine. All right, so we're going to have a tag here. We want to pass that in. I'm not going to have it here. Oops. I'm not going to have it here. We're just going to basically pass in sizes now, I think, and colors. Here we'll have primary. I think that'll work. Sizes, colors, children's props. Tag name equals the tag that's been passed in. Okay. So I guess what I probably need to do is I can't make this an enum right here. I need to set this as like as const. I think that's how that would work, as const. And all of these need to be commas. Okay. Something's happening. Then we're going to say tag here, right here. So we'll say tag is basically like the type of tag. Yeah, so it's read only. Should be type of tag. This should come in here. Now I should be able to say tag name. No. Huh. Well, I don't know what I'm doing wrong here, so let's just convert this to an Astro component and call it a day. Because I don't know how often I'm going to use this and other things, and I don't want to get stuck any more than I already have. I'm sure it's something small. If you see it, let me know, but there's not that big of a switch to move this over. In fact, I might even have... Do I have... If I have a heading component, that would be funny. I don't think I do. But this is... Let's see, this is the same basic thing I'm doing, although this is very interesting. So where I'm going to have this element, and normally you don't do it like this. So this was obviously a while ago. All right, that's fine. So let's pull this in as a heading like that. Let me just go ahead and come over to CVA and do like Astro. We've got some Astro examples. And I'll just steal it directly so I don't have to type all this stuff out. View it on GitHub. Perfect. Okay, let me grab all this. Get rid of that. Drop this in here. Awesome. Okay, so it's working just the wrong way. So this button here, I think what we'll do is just say like heading. This is going to be HTML variants. Let's see, HTML. Isn't there like a... Oh, HTML tag. Interesting. I don't think I knew that type existed. Here we're going to have... Can I do it like this? maybe that HTML tag would actually help here. Let's say HTML tag. That may be new. Key of support HTML defined by element. Okay. It's not a generic. Okay. Well, then what is it? Key of Astro HTML tag. Let's see. I don't know. I haven't used this before. I think this is new, or maybe I just somehow missed it. Generate tag. Let's see if any of these people are using it. No, that's... Oh, HTML tag. Okay. Okay. Can I not specify though? It's not super helpful. Okay, so let's... I guess you can just know that it's a tag coming in, but that seems super generic. I'm sure there's use cases for it I'm just not thinking of. But like here, I'd pass in like H1, right? Or H2, etc. So now I can actually specify individual tags. H5. So I guess that's just like if you're passing in a prop, a tag is a prop, which there would definitely be use cases for that. H4, H5. I missed a pipe here, I think. Okay. So type of button, this would be type of heading. Changing around all this stuff, this would be heading. Here we're gonna have, let's see. Probably what I need to pass in here is back to my colors. Same thing here, change it to colors. It's gonna yell at us for a second, it's okay. Yeah, and then let's go ahead and take our tag. We'll set this to an H1 by default. And then we'll come down here and say const tag equals tag. So you have to have this capitalized because otherwise it can just be a valid HTML element. You may not know that, but like you can pass in anything as an HTML tag. You could be like pizza, and this is an HTML tag, and technically it would be totally fine right here. And in fact, if you inspect it, you'll see it says pizza. So you can pass in any lowercase thing. An uppercase thing is basically going to break because HTML doesn't accept those. So that's what we're doing, is we're basically reassigning this to something that won't be picked up as just a standard HTML tag. So now this should be an H1, right? Because this is what we've set as the default. All right, let me open up my link components over here. And if there's anything else we can steal, I don't think so. We had our colors. So I guess I could steal that. So we'll come up here. Let's see, intent, we don't need that. It's using Tailwind anyhow. So here what we'll do is just get rid of all these. And I'm going to say text secondary, because I'm pretty sure I've got those helper classes anyhow. The other nice thing about having globally declared some of that stuff, I'll say large here. And these, we'll have to do something like, I guess I could just declare these directly here. Let me just have a small class. I think that'll work. Or I could do text small, text medium, and text large. We'll just declare these classes globally, I think, on my reset. Maybe, maybe not, I don't know. Let's see, colors. Primary, we do need that as well, so we'll say primary, text primary. Size, class uppercase, I don't need this compound variant stuff. So we should be able to pass in classes as well. So in addition to, let's see, tag does not exist on props. Well, don't you worry. We're gonna have tag. This will be, I guess how you have to redeclare this, right? Yeah, so it needs to be one of those sizes. Sizes, we talked about doing the same things, but I guess we'll just do small, medium, large, because I don't know how many heading sizes we really need. And then we'll also have classes, which is how I typically like to pass this in, which would be a string. I guess it could also be an array. Let's just set it as a string of classes. Okay, so I think that'll work. Let's get rid of this. I'm not sure what I was messing up with that React thing, but same difference. Okay, so now we've got this kind of composable section. I do want to make sure I've got access to what I need here, but here you can see I've got tag, which I do need to pass in. So we'll say like an H2, and let's just inspect it to make sure it's actually working. It now says H2, cool. I should also be able to pass in, I definitely want to pass in like the rest here. So this rest should come in here, rest. I think I have to also spread it here, yeah. All right, so this is basically anything that could be on a heading tag, basically, you can pass in, so like an ID, for instance. So let's make sure this is working as well. So I have an ID that says like heading 1 or something like that. It now says heading 1, cool. All right, same thing, you could pass in data attributes, whatever else you want, style tags, I guess, technically. Let's see here, children is not assignable to children. Oh, I have to have a slot. So let's come over here. Oh, I do have a slot. Children. Why is it saying children? I wonder if it's just like I need to refresh because it's still picking that up from before. I think it's okay. Size. Colors is not required, neither is that. Okay, cool. So I think we should be good to go. Let me refresh here just in case that's the problem. Looks like that was the problem. Okay, cool. So now I've got my heading. We're actually getting somewhere. Oh, no, it was not my problem. Children string tag to is not assignable to intrinsic improbs. Classes is missing. Oh, this needs to be optional. Okay. Now we're happy. I'm happy. It's happy. We've done a little bit today. So we're going to do this. Just like that. And there we go. Let's do size here. We'll do large. And what I need to do is declare some of these things globally. So let me go ahead and do that. Let's see, text muted, text accent, text secondary. So I do have some of these things, although I have very inconsistent stuff here where I'm like declaring these things with single dashes where I probably should do doubles. And then sometimes I'm doing doubles. So like doing double on the grid thing. Let's actually check. Grid. Yeah, so I'm doing double there. So I need to go through and clean this up to make this more consistent. So I'll probably do that here, but not on stream because that's even more boring than building out a heading component. All right, let's come in here to text. I don't really need this where selector, but why not? So we'll say text primary. And here we'll say text like that. Probably have a text, yeah, down here, but I think I would tend to use primary over that anyhow. Accent secondary muted. I guess we should just go ahead and do the rest of them. What else did I have? Success, danger, tertiary. Okay. Why not? So we'll say tertiary. And maybe let me move this up here. Text accent. And I guess technically I could just pass the whole thing in. I pass it in as a class and I wouldn't have to take this in here. I'm not sure what I should do. Hey, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Maybe I should just do that. So let's get rid of these. We won't take these colors in. We'll just pass those in as classes because they're already classes. And that way size and tag are basically the only things that need to be passed in. And yeah, so I think we should be good there. Okay, so text small, medium, and large. Let's go ahead and set that here just in a local style tag, text small. Font size of our font, or what is that thing called? Let's come over here. Let me try to set it on one of these. Font size var size fluid font size fluid. That's what I want. Okay. Still that. Come back over here. Come back over here. I'm gonna add that down in here. Font size fluid 1. Let's pump this up for 2 others. We'll have a medium and We'll have a large. And here, let's just do 2. And here we're going to do 3. Look at that. Okay, so we've got different options here. It looks like medium is our default here, H1. That should all work. If I come back over here, I should be able to come over here to medium. Medium, no IntelliSense. Okay, small. Cool, all right. So this should probably be large. And that it's fluid means that as I get bigger, it will actually increase because it's using clamp. Oh, cool, I think that will work. All right, other things I need to do. Let's come back over here to my hero. This header itself, I want to add a style where we grab the header, headering, and we set the margin. How am I doing this on this other stuff? Hero, fundraiser, margin inline, that's right. All right, so let's do the same thing here. Padding top, don't need that. Padding inline, not sure why I need that, so. All right, so this is basically a variable that points to something else that sets a max width and a margin on the sides as well. All right, if you're just joining me, I'm raising funds for children's cancer research, and I've been doing this all month. Next Friday, we do a giveaway. At this point, if you give, you basically are going to win one of these things. If you give at least $5 and send me the receipt, I'll then return like a raffle number to you, and we'll give this away Friday. All you have to do is give $5 to help cure childhood cancer, and you have a chance to win one of these prizes, which you can opt out if you don't want a certain prize. So I've got CloudCannon, which is a CMS, Console Ninja, which I use all the time to log stuff directly in VS Code. I don't know how I'd code without it because it makes me so much quicker. Dracula, which is a theme for everything from VS Code to your terminal to everything else. Gives you a couple fonts as well. GitTower, which is a GUI client. My Learn Astro course. Coco.js, which runs JavaScript, TypeScript directly in your editor, so you get instant feedback as you type. So like if you're sending something off to a function, you'll actually see the readout directly in the function. You don't even have to console log. It just shows it to you directly there. Wallaby.js does the same thing for tests. So you don't have to run your tests. You just write them, and it tells you while you're writing them if it's passing or not. Warp is a terminal, and they've got pro plans available, which essentially give you way more AI credits to use things like agent mode, which is super helpful, and I found a lot of benefit out of it. So if you give $5, you're basically going to win one of these things, and like I said, you can opt out if you want to. I'd love to have you join me. And if you're not familiar with St. Jude, it's a children's cancer research hospital in Memphis, Tennessee, that not only cares for kids by bringing their families there, providing for them free of cost to the family, but on top of that, it also does so in a way that spreads its research all over the globe. So whether you're a patient there or you're simply a child with cancer around the globe, you're impacted automatically by the work of St. Jude if you have childhood cancer. I've given to this and done a campaign for 3 years running now. It's really exciting to see where we've come. Let's see. 280 the first year, 1260. We're already here. I thought we could get to 3. We've got time, all right? All you got to do is help participate in this. I know not everybody can give, but I'd love to have you give if you have the time. All right, back over this way. Let's go ahead and set some of the rest of this stuff up. I do have this section here. It needs to be a flex container, so I'm going to do flex medium, I guess. That will put it next to each other. Small. I don't know, something like that. Let's see, can this avatar take in some classes? That would be nice. Let's do that. So let's say const classes equals astro.props. And that way I can pass in some extra stuff here. So let's go ahead and turn this into a class list where we have avatar and then whatever classes I have. This should be a string, but let's just go ahead and type it. Classes, make it optional, it's a string. All right, cool. So I should be able to pass in some stuff here. For instance, one of the things I want to do, although maybe I should just do this here because it's not going to hurt anything if it's not part of a flex container, but I'm going to say flex. Actually, can I just do, I don't think this will work. No, okay. So we'll say flex shrink is 0. That's basically what I want to fix here. Although there are some times I want the size of the thing to actually get smaller as we get smaller. I don't know. Maybe we should change this back to 7 like I had it originally. And I thought my M stuff would work here, but that now looks too big. Something like that. Okay, cool. Dracula theme, juicy. I know, right? It's really cool. They gave me 10 of those to give away. So I've got 10 to give away of those. So I'd love to have everyone join me. I'm going to do a push real hard this week. I want to hit that 3 grand. That would be so cool to use the channel that way. We'd be over 4 grand then over the 3 years. That would be really cool. Can you opt in for that? You can opt out of everything else technically if you want to. I'll send you an email if you sent me your receipt, and you can tell me what you don't want. Because I want people to win stuff they want. That's kind of the whole point of the giveaway. But it's pretty cool that basically at this point you're guaranteed to win something. And I guess if you opt out of everything else, hopefully you win that one. But yeah, cool. Once I get off stream, I'll respond to you. I don't want to respond to you on stream unless you want everyone to see your email and how much you gave. But all right, here we are over here with heading. Where are we at? Here. Okay, so I think that'll work. I guess I don't really need to pass in classes there. We can get rid of all this, I guess. It doesn't really matter. Let's leave it. Okay, so my name's Chris. Let's come over here, add a little bit more spacing, large. Now, the cool thing about the way we did the text is now I can just come in here with a span and do like text accent, and it should just pull in that accent color, which I think is, looks like I had secondary maybe. Secondary. Yeah, so we'll just use the classes that way globally, and I think that'll work. I've also got this little wavy thing. Sure. The other thing I'm going to want, I guess, in this heading is everything gets this heading class, no matter what it is. So let's set some basic stuff here. So for my headings, I'm going to want text balance, text wrap of balance. I will also do a line height of like 1.1, probably. I usually do those a little smaller. Anything else here? I don't know that there is. I kind of want this thing itself, like the little hand, to be its own little section. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to wrap all of this right here. Get out of here. And a class flex small. Let's put all this. No. Here's what we're gonna do. We'll wrap the heading in a flex small. All right. So these little utility classes help because I can do stuff like this. The only thing is now I have to manually set this. Let's go back because I'm too lazy to do that. All right. So let's grab all this and we're going to say all this is just going to be inside of a div. Then the div is inside of a heading tag. I shouldn't do that. Okay. It's like real development where it just takes forever. Maybe it's only me, but what am I doing here? Okay. I thought it would preserve that, but I guess not. So we'll say flex small. And then here I'll have a span of like hand class that has my hand in it. Wave. There we go. And I'll just add this down here. Hand. Font size. Whatever my large is. Right here. All right, that'll work. And I guess maybe let's make this a little bit more prominent. Yeah. Okay, so now it'll at least wrap like that. Eventually it gets this way. That'll work. Okay. Kind of feel like both of these actually need to be large. Do I not have, or no, here. Extra large. Something like that. Okay. Back over here. Welcome to Coding in Public. So that also means I can stack this stuff. So now we're going to have another little stack. We'll say grid medium or something like that Here we'll just have a paragraph that says welcome to Coding in Public. Oh boy. What happened here? What is this? Why is this height so big? Oh, I think it's just because it's part of a grid container. No, but this thing has a weird height to it. Hey, Gonzalo, welcome. I'm glad you enjoyed the content. If you're just joining, I'm trying to raise funds for Children's Cancer Research Hospital. We've raised a little bit of money this morning. I would love to do more than the 10 I think we've raised. Trying to get to 3,000, and you can win a bunch of really cool stuff here. So from Warp to Dracula theme to CMS to a bunch of console tools for your code editor like Console Ninja, Quokka.js, Wallaby.js. If you're interested in my Astro course, I'm giving away 4 of those. Warp, got some pro plans for the terminal. GitTower, which is a Git GUI client. So $5 is all it takes. And at this point, I have more gifts or more giveaways than I do donors who sent me the receipt. So you're going to win something basically if you give $5. So if any of these things are interesting to you, please contribute. I'm going to do a really hard push this week. I'd love to get to like $5,000. Got to think big here. Man, I got to figure out what is going on here exactly. Because even when it's not taking up space, obviously there's some kind of weird thing going on. So let's check. Line height, text art balance, break word, margin block, end. I guess that's it. So let's get rid of that. I thought I had a reset. Don't I have a reset? Margin. Why is this not being picked up? Let's get back over to my main. Reset, right? It is. Is something the matter with the syntax? Margin 0, padding 0. Huh, I'm not sure what's going on here. Because it looks like that's coming from the style sheet, right? Alright, let's see what's going on. H2 user agent style sheet. Why is this not overwriting? Margin 0. Margin 0. Alright, well maybe it's not margin or padding. What is it then? Why is this thing so big? Alright, let's see the computed styles. Height. Why? Huh. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Well, I don't know. I wonder if it's because it's like a grid child in here, but that doesn't make any sense why it would be gaining extra height. I don't understand. All right, well, I'll have to track that down later so we can actually finish something. Let's make sure we come over to my layout. Actually, I think I did that in my main over here. And here, I just want to make sure that I have align items start. All right. Yeah, that's weird. I don't know. Okay. Anyhow, we're going to have different font sizes as well, which means, I mean, I guess I could have changed the heading too, but I think for me, I want some defined heading styles. So let me actually reopen up that main. And do I have like text background? What else do I have? Flex large button icons. I think we got rid of all these too. Yeah, so we don't really need any of these at all. Data, active true, I don't know what that's about. Button filter, so let's get rid of all this stuff because that's the whole point of our component, so that we don't need that. Balance, don't need that, don't need that. Okay. So this is only for global stuff. Flex, large, small, medium. I don't know what that's about. Relative, underline, underline secondary. Yeah, I guess we do want that. So I don't really have any font sizes, huh? Okay, that's fine. We can do that. What do I have here? Do I have something in my root? Okay, so I do have some font sizes. So let's grab these, and we're going to set these up as our font sizes. So we've got utilities here, animations, not sure what that's about. I'm sure I'm using that somewhere. Color utilities. Let's say like fonts or something. Our typography, because we might do other stuff in here as well. All right, and let's grab all this stuff here. And let's see, I don't need this. Font size fluid 0. I guess I added a new thing. That's fine. Okay, so let's set this then as, if this is medium, large, extra large, 2XL. I think that should work. And I can also rename some of those other things. Okay, so let's come in here. This will be, let me just comment this. I'll just do this one at a time. All right, so we're gonna have, let's see, this is medium, small, extra small, 2XL. Font, I guess I'll do text 2XL. And then I will set my font size to this. This is like really ominous music. I can barely hear it, but just in case, I'm gonna jump past that. So let's come in here. This is supposed to be extra small anyhow. This will be extra small like this. And here we'll have font size. I guess I'm gonna do font size fluid. Why is this thing named that? So let's come in here, back to my root. Font size fluid 0, okay. I guess I'm using that here. Let's at least declare it outside here. Okay, so I guess I only have 6. That's fine. We can do that. So back over here. Where's that at? Okay, down here. I guess we'll just have it extra small. And then we'll have a small. And this is font size 300. All right, now we can just increase this. 1, 2, 3, 4. This will be 4, 5, 6, and 8. I guess I jumped 1 for some reason. Okay. Let's change this up. Small, medium, large, extra large, and 2XL. All right. Now we've got some nice utility classes I can use for my fonts. Probably should do that over in my heading component anyhow. So text small. I mean, I guess I don't really need to even declare these anymore. So what I could do is instead say text. This would probably be like my medium, I think. And then here, XL maybe. Here 2XL. I mean, it'll take seeing this in actual practice. Text 2XL. What did I name these things? Oh, back to my double dash situation. Let's just do double dashes because I think that's what I probably should be doing. Oops, and that way everything I can convert over to using that eventually. All right, there we go. So now it's actually working. I can just pass in the class there directly. I don't have to scope it. I think that should work. Okay. What that means, though, is now I can come in here and have a class or have like text large, I guess. Double dash large. That'll work. Okay. Then I think here is where I have that underline class. Underline. Oh, it's because I made it a block element. Now, because it's wrapping, I'm not going to get that, whereas I will here. So maybe I also need to add text balance to this and add that as another utility. So let's come over here. That'll be good to use my main CSS right here. Typography stuff. So let's come here, text balance. It'll be text wrap up balance. And while I'm at it, I might as well just do like a text pretty as well in case I want to use that anywhere. Pretty. I don't want to recreate all of Tailwind, but basically what this will do is break it there pretty much always because that's about equal. So yeah, that'll work. Okay. So at least we got this now set up. I'm not sure exactly why still this whole situation is so intense. The spacing here, but oh. Is it this? No, because I want this to be here. And that's spaced. Yeah, that should be right. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. I wonder. Flex, or let's see, align items. Flex start. If this is it, I swear. Some of the trouble of using some of these utility classes is like you get this weird stuff where you just don't realize that like by default it's going to use stretch. Yeah, okay, that'll work. All right, we have one thing that we have done successfully today, and I would like to recognize that. Hopefully we've gotten some more given away to St. Jude though. Fundraiser. Let me look at this hero over here. Because I think, let's look at this nav. Because if we jump over to my fundraiser, which is right here, you'll see up top we've got this like kind of thing here, and I just don't remember where I grabbed that. Hero, fundraiser, image St. Jude, underline. Did I have a class that did that? Maybe it was just on the layout. Let's come over to my fundraiser. Blur. Interesting. Wrapper. All right, let's steal some of this stuff then. Blur, okay, yeah, so I did have a little blur thing. So if you got a wrapper, let's use that. Really, this should be interesting. All right, so let me go ahead and jump over here to my layout. Do I want this on every page? Maybe not. So just in case not, let's come back over to my index and we'll add it here. All right, so right inside here, we'll have this wrapper. Let's say I don't need that. This hero can go inside of the wrapper. I'll get rid of all that. Pull in the blur. Noise background. Let's see, I also need to pull that in. Noise background and get image and all this. Okay. Nope, wrong place. All right, there we go. So now I've got that nice little blur. I think that'll work. All right, timing wise, I probably need to go because my kids are about to get up. So anyhow, hopefully we got some stuff done. We built out this heading component a little bit, talked about some like design system things, but I'd love to have you join me. My goal is to get to 3K by Friday. If you give right now, you basically have a super good chance of winning one of these items right here, and I'll keep pushing on this all week. I realize $5 is not something everyone can do, but if you can, I'd love to have you give to help cure childhood cancer with me this month, the month of childhood cancer awareness. Well, thanks so much for joining me. Hopefully I'll get this page built out eventually. I've got to actually move on to some work this morning, but Anyhow, thanks for joining me. I will catch you in the next one, and happy coding.